Hello, my name is Dr. Steele, and welcome to Steele Mathematics, where lessons in Algebra 1, Geometry, Algebra 2, Pre-Calculus, and Calculus are taught. And today, I'm going to talk to you about the basic figures of geometry. These are figures that you see within shapes and what you see every day around you. So with that being said, I'm going to introduce you the first basic figure, and that is the point. Now, the point is actually a specific location represented by a dot. Points are named with a capital letter. Therefore, the name of this point is point P. Now, all the basic figures not only have names, but they're also symbols for the names. Therefore, the symbol for a point is just the letter P. So if you see the letter P, that means point P. Now, the other basic figures that I'm about to introduce to you are named after the points that are on them. And we start with the line. Now, if you pay attention to the line, pay attention to the arrowheads. That tells you that the line has no beginning or an end. The line contains points A and H. Therefore, it could be called line AH or line HA. Doesn't matter the order. And if there are more than 2 points on it, well, we use 2 of the points to name it. And the symbol for a line are the name of the 2 points with a double-sided arrow above them. The next basic figure is the ray. Now, as you can see, the ray only has one arrowhead. That tells you that the ray has a beginning but no end. And the beginning starts with P. P is the end point. Therefore, it can only be called ray PT. When you name a ray, you name the end point first. And the symbol for ray PT is a one-sided arrow drawn to the right, always drawn to the right, above the names of the 2 points. So now we have the line segment. Notice there's no arrowheads on the line segment. It has 2 endpoints. That means a line segment can be 5 inches long or 5 miles long. It can be measured. So line segments are named after the endpoints. Therefore, it could be called line segment JK or line segment KJ. And the symbol for a line segment would be a bar over the names of the 2 points. Now what you see is an angle. And an angle is actually made up of 2 rays sharing an endpoint. So first, let me tell you about the parts of an angle. The endpoint that they share is called the vertex. Whereas the 2 rays that make up the angle are the sides of the angle. Now, there are actually 2 ways you can name an angle. Angles can be named with 3 letters just as long as the name of the vertex is in the middle. Therefore, angle AOB or angle BOA. Angles can also be named after its vertex. Therefore, it can also be called angle O. And the symbol for an angle is in front of the letters. Notice that the angle symbol sort of resembles a less than sign, but as you can see, the bottom is flat. So that's the symbol for an angle. All right, next we have a plane. Now, a plane is actually a boundless flat surface. Like, for example, your desktop is shaped like a plane. The floor is shaped like a plane. The ceiling, your two walls, they're all shaped like planes. Planes are named for three of the points that are on it. Therefore, it could be called plane HIJ, plane IJH, plane HJI, etc. Just as long as you're naming 3 points. Now, sometimes a plane can have a cursive capital letter on one of the corners. And as you can see, that's a cursive K. Therefore, it could also be called plane K. A set of points are collinear, if and only if they lie on the same line. So let's say you have this diagram. G, S, B, and V are collinear because they all lie in the same line. Whereas, let's say Y, S, F, G, and I are not collinear because all of them do not lie on the same line. Let's see, only G and S are on a line, but the rest of them are not on the line. Therefore, that makes them not collinear. A set of points are coplanar, if and only if they lie in the same plane. So, for example, points A, F, C, and H are coplanar because they all lie in plane N. They all lie in the same plane. Whereas, let's say, A, B, C, and D are not coplanar. C is the only one, no, A and C are on the plane, whereas B and D are not on the plane. Therefore, A, B, C, and D are not coplanar because they all do not lie in plane N. So let's do true and false. B, G, and I are collinear. Okay, there's B, there's G, and there's I. As you can see, those 3 points do not lie on the same line. Therefore, it is false. All right, E, I, and G are coplanar. All right, so let's see. There's E, there's I, and there's G. They all lie in the same plane. Therefore, the answer is true. All right, B, D, and F are collinear. Okay, so there's point B right here. There's point D, and there's point F. All of them are on the line. Therefore, the answer is true. All right, A, J, and C are coplanar. So here's point A, here's point J, and here's point C. All three of these points do lie on the same plane. Therefore, the answer is true. H, J, and F are collinear. All right, so here's H, here's J, and here's F. They all lie in the same line. Therefore, it is true that H, J, and F are collinear. Finally, H, D, and G are coplanar. Okay, so here's H, here's D, and here's G. All three of these points do not lie in the same plane. Therefore, the answer is false. Now, I want to introduce to you two terms that you're going to see all throughout geometry and actually throughout mathematics. You have what is called a postulate. It's an unproven law of mathematics, whereas a theorem is a proven law of mathematics. So a postulate is not proven, but a theorem is. So I introduce to you a couple of postulates. The first postulate I'm going to introduce to you is that the intersection of two lines is a unique point. So when two lines cross each other, they're going to cross each other at a point. So therefore, in this instance, line AB and line CD intersects at point O. When two planes intersect, they make a line. So as you can see, planes M and N intersect at line GH. So whenever two lines intersect, they make a point. Whenever two planes intersect, they make a line. So let's look at some examples. It asks you what line is the intersection of planes NRQ and IJK. Well, NRQ, that would be this plane. And IJK would be this plane. And therefore, this will be the line they intersect at. So they intersect at line AB. All right, next, they ask you, at what point do line BF and line FG intersect? So line BF, all right, so here's line BF right here. And FG, that's line FG. And there's the point they intersect at. Therefore, they intersect at point F. What two lines intersect at D? So here's D right here. And they're the two lines that intersect at D. So that's line AD and line CD. Name two planes whose intersection is line BC. So here's line BC right here. So let's see what two planes intersect at line BC. And that's this plane and this plane. And for each plane, there are many ways to name it, but you only need 3 points to name the plane. Therefore, I could call it plane A, B, D, and plane B, C, G. Okay, now, are points M, K, and E and C coplanar? Okay, so there's M, there's K, there's E, and there's C. And as you can see, M, K, and E are on the same plane, but C is not on the same plane as M, K, and E. So therefore, the answer is no. All right, next are C, G, and U collinear. C, G, and U. So here's C right here. Here's G. And here's U. They're all on the same line. So yes, they are collinear. And finally, are R, N, Q, and M coplanar? All right, so here's R, here's N, here's Q, and here's M. And as you can see, all 4 points lie on that plane. So the answer is yes, they are coplanar. So these are the 5 basic figures of geometry. Keep in mind that each of these figures are named for the points that are on it. Also, you're going to always see these figures all around you. I hope that you have a wonderful and blessed day.